Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Because the brownie.
Apparently, I watched, this isn't like, I don't know. What intro am I going with? Okay, anyways, though, I realized I've been trying to chase this feeling. And here's how I'm describing this feeling to you. This feeling I've been chasing. The feeling I've been chasing is me when I was a kid. I grew up in a town of like 1,000 people. It's just a very, very small town. And one of the gas stations you were able to rent movies at. I think they even were into when DVDs first started, people were renting those. So like that, going to the movie store, going to that gas station to look and rent a movie, and you could smoke in that gas station at the time. I think now they have a rule that they can't, in that town, that you can't smoke inside, but at the time it was optional. It was basically like, you can if you want to. People would just sit around, talk, and smoke cigarettes inside a gas station. It's weird, I know. But like you go up there, and the feeling I'm chasing is those movies that always look like so much fun. Like, like you'd watch, but like I was a kid at the time. So like my mom's not going to be fucking renting American Pie or Dude, Where's My Car? And shit like that. So I'm chasing that feeling of going to, that gas station where we used to rent movies. And like, I don't know. I'm just chasing that feeling. It was like a good time in life. I think it was either before or right after 9/11, before we really developed how sad the world is, I'm just chasing that feeling. Okay? All I'm doing is I'm chasing that feeling. Anyways, though, one of the movies, I'd always see, that makes me feel that way. Or like when I look at it, like it makes me feel that way because I just see the movie cover. Like that's the nice thing about if you like miss Blockbuster or whatever. You miss like those movie covers and like going to the movie store and like, I'm gonna watch this tonight. Because now it's like sitting on your couch, like browsing Netflix and stuff like that. And it's definitely a better option, but that feeling is gone. One of them, was American Pie. Like those movies, like clearly I watched the rated R versions of all of them. So in each film, I think there's titties, a little dick. I think I only saw dick in the last one. No, it was either American Wedding. No, it was American Reunion, where like Jim covered Jason Biggs covered his dick, and we all got to see Jason Biggs' dick. And guess what? It looks pretty good soft. I'm just saying, I'm like, that's a solid dick soft. Because my dick soft is the saddest thing. And, I'm like over body problems and shit like that with my own body. It's like, I look at myself, I'm like, I need to lose weight. And like, you either need to do that or just feel bad for being fat, Don't be mad at other people and shit like that. But yeah, but my dick though, like the problem with me like going full nudist or even wanting to go to a nude beach to begin with, it's just because my soft dick is very sad. It's actually probably fine for like day-to-day use when you don't need to be hard. Like that's the thing though, like your soft dick, the qualifications for your soft dick need to be for me going about my day, and then your hard dick needs to be like going about things and shit like that. And so my soft dick, good for valuable use, not good for being naked in front of people because it's just sad in front of people, And fellas, it's okay if your soft dick looks sad and your hard dick's all right, My hard dick's all right, and then my soft dick's like sad. But women don't care about that. That's a long story short saying, I watched the American Pie movies, and I just kind of want to talk about them. I didn't watch the American Pie Presents movies. Those movies do not look like I want to watch them. Like I watched Van Wilder last night. I'm like, I'm not going to watch the 2 sequels or whatever. I'm not going to watch The Rise of Taj because I saw one Reddit post. It was like the worst movie I've ever watched in my life. And I love Kal Penn, but I'm not going to... him playing a stereotypical Indian, I don't want to watch that. So I talked about chasing that feeling. But anyways, it was good in the first movie. The first movie, we watched, the idea of the first movie and what set this whole franchise off was that, hey, we got a couple guys. I think 5 guys. So we got Oz, we got Jim, we got Finch, We got the guy who fucks Tara Reid. I did not get his name. I just forgot it. I didn't remember it. But he was like, yeah, he the first movie you're like, maybe he doesn't deserve that. And the second movie he's like, yeah, he looks like the very much type of guy to be with a girl who looks like that, And then Finch, Oz, Jim, and Stifler. Stifler's a funny character, but like the first movie is like all of them like we're gonna lose our virginities before we go to college, senior year of high school and shit like that, and then Finch and Stifler have their rivalry, which is probably the best part of like all these films, like for real. The problem with the first movie and why it's probably not my favorite of all of them is there's a scene. Okay, so Jim is going to help a foreign exchange student who's hot. Played by Shannon Elizabeth. She played the girl Kelso knocked up in That 70s Show. And I never watched these movies before. And I was like, oh, I get to see her tits? Like, that's pretty fucking awesome. Anyways, though, but the idea is like, oh, they set up his webcam so when she changes at his place, they can all watch on a webcam stream. And then Jim comes over, tries to have sex, and it's a weird thing. And the thing is, like, I love, if a woman wants to send me a picture of her tits with her, I want the face involved. I don't want to see, like, I hate it when it's, like, no face, because I'm like, I need to know who the person behind this is, and shit like that. But, like, a picture of some titties, a nude, a fella would not be opposed to that. However, it's, like, the idea of, like, the woman wanted to send that to the man, that I want, this whole webcam thing was non-consensual. I'm like, they set it off as like, oh, Jim's embarrassed of the whole thing, and shit like that, but like, they never really go through like Nadia's like whole portion of the whole thing. And yeah, that was pretty bad. Like the whole webcam thing, I'm like, it really like, and you think like, oh, something, jokes that don't age well. It's like, oh, you made it like like in the third one, American Wedding, they went to a gay bar accidentally or whatever, and like a trans woman was like, hey, with like the deepest voice you've ever heard. It's like jokes that don't age well. I love movies where it doesn't age well. Like that's my favorite genre of movie. But yeah, that the webcam scene did not age well. Like, it really kind of bummed me out because I'm like, this is kind of funny, but it's also, I'm like, this is so bad. Like, just on the internet, if it was just his friends watching, I'd be okay. But it's like, you posted this online, and like, it was 1999, and that's when the movie came out, and so you have to assume they filmed it before that. So the internet wasn't like, it was like 180p, like 10 pixels a screen, or whatever. But still, it just, even that to me, like, I was, I'm watching it and you're like, oh, you got the Nadia, and you're just like, oh, you might be able to have sex with her. I'm like, all right, unplug the webcam, figure out just some situation. He got close with like throwing the shirt on it, but it just so upsets me. I'm like, I would never want, I was like, would I start a porno? I'm like, I don't know. I did like a chick who's like, oh, just film me sucking your dick on an OnlyFans, but no one's going to know it's you. I'm like, that's fine. I'll do that shit. But like being the star of it, like I don't want to, like pornos where you get to see the guy's face. I'm like, I don't want to see that, like porn is for men for the most part, like most porn is for men. The POV shot is probably the best thing for men. And so what I say, yeah. So I'm ranking all of them. The first American Pie, it's great. Just a great coming of age comedy. It's just a solid film. But honestly, I wouldn't have to say the second American Pie film was probably my favorite of all of them. Because it's like college, and I feel like I'm maybe, like, because like, you're in college and it's like that, and then there's like your adult life and you're like that. And then, you're living your adult life single and shit like that. But like, there isn't much of a difference between adult life single and college single, kind of ways, until you like get like married and settled, marriage and shit like that. That's like a whole different thing. Or even like moving in together. But like this one's like, oh, we're going to like a house all summer for just us guys. We're gonna work a job, shit like that. And like I love friendship movies, like Kumar, what's it like Alan Kumar? Yeah, they go to White Castle and like that's just like two friends doing shit. I love friend comedies, those are my favorite. And so that's what this was like a friend comedy. And that's what's great. It's like the comedic moments, like Finch was like, oh, I've slept with a lot of girls in the past year, but none of them are as good as Stifler's mom, and like the whole fucking Stifler's mom is a whole other thing I'm gonna get to in a moment, but I'm gonna get to that when I go into all my other thoughts on it. But that's why I love that, and and like Jim realized, I'm like, oh, like Nadia's like, I'm gonna come visit you, and he's like, I gotta learn how to do sex, and then he tries practicing with Michelle, then he realizes, I'm like, oh, I love Michelle all along. And I'm like, that's just fucking heartwarming. That's like, of like the romantic comedies, why you should enjoy and get like a dopamine rush from watching a romantic comedy. That's the reason you watch that shit. And that's what I just fucking love about it. And American Pie 2. So I think American Pie 2 is probably my favorite out of all of them. American Wedding, I think is good, but I think it went from like raunchy comedy to like romantic comedy with this film. First of all, Oz was missing. And, Vicky and Heather weren't there. Like, those are the other girlfriends and shit like that from some of the other guys. But when it's, like, your boy and it's your wedding, like, it's just, like, they didn't really explain it well in the fourth film when Oz came back. But, like, just, I don't like that. I don't like that shit, Like, there's my boys who I don't see ever. Like, I'm going to see one soon. And, like, another one of my boys who I will probably make a groomsman if if hell freezes over and I ever get married. And like, I haven't seen him since my dad's funeral. The other one, he's in the military. I haven't seen him. I'm going to see him soon and shit like that. And, yeah, like I made an effort to go to their weddings, and I'm like, I would make an effort again, probably for the second ones too. If they ever got it. And I know they'll make an effort for mine. So that's, that's just fucking weird. But it's like also just like a standard romantic comedy where like some raunchy shit gets in there, And I think, yeah, this film is good though. I don't hate any of these films. I love all these films. Like I've recently learned that like this is another franchise I just fucking love, and I'm probably gonna rewatch a lot in my days to come. Like I just watched them for the first time, so that's probably saying something. Let's get to American Reunion. American Reunion. It came out in 2012, which we're basically 11 years ago. I graduated high school in 2012. That's my high school year, and that's when this movie came out. And so like I just really missed it. So it's like 10 years from it, and like they need another American Pie movie. I want another American Pie movie as long as they get like the character dumb situations right. Like it doesn't even matter if it's a good story. Like that's the problem. Like I will fucking love this shit. It's basically like their 13-year reunion because they missed their 10 and they're trying to get it put together or whatever. And so basically, yeah, they staged it under a high school reunion and shit like that. So you get like they got everyone back, like except for like Jim's mom, who either didn't want to do the movie or passed away but they made it like Jim's dad was a widower and shit like that. So, you gotta watch the movie. He hooks up with Stifler's mom, so you can't hate him and shit like that. But they got everyone back. Some people don't like this film, and I'm like, yeah, if you didn't watch any of the other three films, especially if you didn't watch the first two, like you're probably not going to be into this film, Like, if you're not a fan of the franchise, you're probably just not going to walk into it and like it. But fans of the franchise, like it. It's like Anchorman 2. Like, Anchorman's clearly better than Anchorman 2. And I think what Anchorman 2 did was like, hey, if you like the first one, you're going to really like this other one. Like, we're not going to overshadow that first one, but we're going to also make this like a movie that you do not hate. And so I love that. And so let's get into all my thoughts on other thoughts I had on the movie. I think Finch is my hero. If you don't know, the first movie, Finch fucked Stifler's mom, played by Jennifer Coolidge. And I have to say, anyone who has had sex with Jennifer Coolidge, even if it was in a movie or a show, a TV show, it counts, or in real life, you are my goddamn hero. The fact that you got to, do the do with fucking Jennifer Coolidge. Like, it's like I could get married and my biggest regret and be like, I never want to have sex with anyone ever again. Besides Jennifer Coolidge. I have not seen White Lotus yet, so if something does not make her hot, don't tell me that. But she's the ultimate MILF. And she talked about, forever ago, it's like, it really helped my sex life. I'm like, it should. You're a goddamn goddess, Jennifer Coolidge. Keep me in your thoughts, please. Maybe your prayers, too, but maybe your thoughts for the most part. But yeah, fucking anyone who has had sex in film or real life with Jennifer Coolidge is my hero. So Finch is I just fucking love him. I want to turn into Finch, and for a while I thought I was going that way, but I think I'm turning into fucking Stifler. Like, I really think I'm turning into fucking Stifler. The biggest thing is, like, I run into my friends during a meetup after forever, and shit like that. And they don't invite me, but I don't think I'm not at that place in my life yet. So, yeah. So I don't want to, say, but I am probably turning into Stifler. I probably am Stifler, to be honest with you. I want to be Finch, but I think I'm Stifler at the very end. But either way, you get to fuck someone's mom, because what does Stifler fuck Finch's mom in American Reunion? And I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking good. Like, that was a good fucking move that they did with those movies. So... that's American Pie movies. My new favorite franchise for sure. Like, that franchise, like, if you can keep the main five for the most part together, like, you can make a gold movie. That's for sure. I mean, and give me that feeling of going back to renting videos at a smoky gas station. That's all I really care about you know what I'm saying.
What you ready to get fucked up?
Thank you for watching this clip.